Yo, Bloodroll aka Mega Blood. Today's video, we're going to be looking at my favorite budget deck to play at the moment. But before we jump into that deck list, don't forget to leave a like, smash the subscribe button, especially if you're enjoying the content that I've been making so far here on the channel. Alrighty guys, now let's jump right in to that deck list. Alrighty, here we are at that deck list. Swim freely. Now, for those that don't know how this fishy deck works, let me break it down. So we do have two copies of this Finneon here with this ability Oceanic Accompaniment. So as often as you would like during a turn, you may attach a basic water energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon that has the swim freely attack. So now for our attackers, we do have 4 copies of this Seaking here, which does have the swim freely attack for 1 water energy, 10 damage, flip a coin if heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage and effects done effects done to this Pokemon. But we're not really trying to attack with swim freely all that often. We're actually trying to attack with Aqua Horn for 3 colorless energy, 60 plus. This attack does 30 damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. So basically as many water energies that we're able to put on this Seaking, because as often as we would like, we may attach 1 basic energy card from your hand to the Pokemon that has attack swim freely. So pretty much just kind of like Chem Pal Backscatter, where we can just put all those energies onto our Seaking as much as we can, as long as we do have the energies. But ways that we have to get the energies here, we do have, of course, 4 copies of Irida, so you'll be able to find, some of our water Pokemon, some items and stuff, things like Letter of Encouragement, Earthen Vessel, and stuff like that. And then, of course, as well, we do play 1 copy of Hisuian Basculegion to kind of recycle those water energies because of its free attack upstream spirits. 20 times. This attack does 20 damage for each basic energy card in your discard pile, and then you shuffle those cards back into your deck. So we're trying to recycle the 12 copies of water energy that we do have in the deck. Now we also play 2 copies of reversal energy as well, because a lot of the times with this deck, you are going to be behind on prize cards. They're usually going to end up taking a KO pretty early before you can. But that works out because that reversal energy counts for 3 water energy. So it really kind of just powers up that Seaking so much more. And then, of course, for some draw engine here, we do got 2 Bidoof, 2 Bibarel, and then 1 Radiant Greninja as well. And then for our A-Spec of choice, we are playing that Prime Catcher. Now, I do have to give a huge shout out to the person that actually provided the deck list for today's video. So huge shout out to Taylor. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Now for the full deck list here, we do have 4 Goldeen, 4 Seaking, 2 Bidoof, 2 Bibarel, 2 Finneon, 1 Hisuian Basculin, 1 Hisuian Basculegion, 1 Radiant Greninja, 4 Irida, 4 Iono, 1 Boss, 4 Superior Energy Retrieval, 3 Ultra Ball, 3 Buddy-Buddy Poffin, 2 Letter of Encouragement, 2 Super Rod, 1 Earthen Vessel, 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, 1 Prime Catcher, 1 Pal Pad, 2 Artisan, and then we do have 12 basic water energies, and then 2 reversal energies. Now let's jump right in to that gameplay. Already here at that swim freely gameplay at our coin flip here. Coin did end up landing on heads, so our opponent does win the coin flip. Now with this deck, a lot of the times you do want to try to evolve first, so we want to try to get that Goldeen into that Seaking, our Bidoof into Bibarel, even our Basculin into Basculegion, pretty much as soon as we possibly can. We do have to evolve a couple pieces here. The nice thing about the Finneon, though, is it is just a basic Pokemon, so we don't have to evolve it. So we are going to have that Finneon up in the active. 2 Water Energy, Ultra Ball, Pal Pad, Iono, and Irida. Our opponent here have the Drifloon and the Fluttermane. Going to play an Artisan, benching that Ralt here. So we're definitely going up against Gardevoir EX. And we know that they do have the Drifloon as well in the deck, but that's not really the card that we're worried that much about. I personally think that like Screamtail or even Gardevoir itself is a little more scary in this matchup. So we are going to get a Seaking here for turn to be able to also have a Bidoof here. So we are going, we're going to Artisan for the Bidoof, and then we're going to be able to use that Irida for Buddy-Buddy Poffin and that Seaking. And then Buddy-Buddy Poffin is going to find me Goldeen and Hisuian Basculin. I'm going to be able to attach an energy here, and then I'm also going to be able to retreat if I want out of that Finneon, and I'm going to put up that Goldeen here. I don't mind sacrificing just the 1 Goldeen, but losing that Finneon is just a little bit more detrimental to us. So we are going to retreat out of that Finneon into the Goldeen here. My opponent going to be able to evolve Ralt into a Curlia here. Going to have that Technical Machine Evolution as well. Artisan. Gonna be able to get themselves another Ralt here. Gonna have access to that Refinement still this turn. Gonna be able to discard a card from their hand, draw 2, attach the Bravery Charm, but they are gonna rip that Iono first. So play the Iono, getting us both to a fresh 6 in hand. Gonna get me into a 2 Irida, Bibarel, Ultra Ball, Prime Catcher, and Water Energy. Refinement gonna pitch that Psychic Energy here to draw 2 cards. So now we are going to be able to set up our draw engine off of Bibarel. We are going to have Irida, so we are going to be able to find Seaking as well. And we still have that Finneon in place. We're going to be able to start using that ability here to start putting Water Energy onto our Pokemon. So my opponent here going to attach a Psychic Energy to that Flutter Mane. Going to be able to use that Technical Machine Evolution to evolve that Ralts into Kirlia, passing the turn to us. So now we're going to evolve the Bidoof and Bibarel. We're going to be able to also have another Seaking in our hand as well, but we are going to Artisan for a Goldeen here. Going to be able to evolve that Goldeen into a Seaking. Going to be able to use that Oceanic Accompaniment, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, to just put that energy onto the Seaking here. I'm going to be able to also use the Irida here to be able to find myself another Seaking or the Hisuian Basculegion. Just kind of depends on which one we're feeling. And we're also going to be able to grab ourselves an item here. So I'm kind of just piecing together what I want to grab to try to figure out what pieces I need or anything like that. We are going to grab the Earthen Vessel here. So we're going to grab Hisuian Basculegion and the Earthen Vessel. So we're going to evolve the Hisuian Basculegion, or Hisuian Basculin into the Basculegion, Earthen Vessel, pitch the Ultra Ball to get 2 energies here. We're going to be able to put both of those energies onto the Seaking here, be able to Industrious Incisors for 3 cards, getting us into Artisan, Spirit Energy Retrieval, and Water Energy. So we are going to be able to use that Aqua Horn attack for 150 damage to take us 1 prize card. So now we're at a 5-6 split here, getting Hisuian Heavy Ball off of those prize cards. Our opponent going to promote a Kirlia here. Going to be able to play that Nest Ball to be able to find themselves that Monkey Dory here. Now, do they have that Dark Energy is the question. Going to play that Arven here. That is going to put them in a position where they could just find the Earthen Vessel, which is exactly what they're going to grab. So get the Earthen Vessel, pitch the Buddy-Buddy Poffin, grab a Dark Energy and a Psychic Energy, attach the Dark, Refinement away the Psychic Energy here to be able to draw 2 cards. They're trying to get themselves into that Gardevoir EX and a good attacker like that Drifloon here. So we're finally going to pitch a Buddy-Buddy Poffin to be able to draw 2 more cards, and they're just going to pass back to us, unfortunately, here. So we are in a position now where we are going to be able to take another KO. We're going to use a Hisuian Heavy Ball, and we see there that our Finneon was in the prize cards, and 2 of our Superior Energy Retrievals are also in the prizes. So I'm going to use that Irida, grabbing ourselves that Seaking, and then, of course, as well, I'm going to be able to grab that Super Rod here to be able to evolve a Goldeen into a Seaking, and then I'm also going to be able to have access to Super Rod, Superior Energy Retrieval, and my Prime Catcher this turn. But I'm just going to take the KO while it's there, because I couldn't really quite decide on anything to do, so I just took the KO on the Kirlia. So now putting us at a 4-6 split here. Now, the thing about Gardevoir is Gardevoir is really good at making those comeback games. Gardevoir is really great at being 2, 3, even 4, sometimes 5 prizes down and coming back to win the game. Just last week, I played Gardevoir and was down 4 prize cards against Raging Bull Ogerpon and brought it all the way back for the win. So it is very possible for them to come back into this game. So they're going to be able to use that Artisan here to grab themselves that Ralts. Ultra Ball going to be able to pitch 2 cards, one of those being that Psychic Energy here to find that Gardevoir EX. Evolve Kirlia into Gardevoir here. Going to be able to have access to that Psychic Embrace now, and they do have quite a bit of energies in their discard pile. So they are going to attach 2 energies to that Gardevoir EX here. Be able to retreat into the Drifloon here. Going to be able to also use that Adrenaline Brain to move 3 damage counters off of that Gardevoir EX and put them onto our Finneon. But what they don't know is that, well, they do know that we have Finneon and Super Rod in hand, but unless they Iono us, we're going to be able to hopefully just kind of get another Finneon in play very quickly. So, going to be able to put 2 Psychic Energies onto that Drifloon here for 4 damage counters and taking a KO on our Seaking. So we are going to put up our Finneon here, and the plan is to hopefully be able to take a nice KO on that Gardevoir EX. So we're going to use that Letter of Encouragement here, and then we're going to be able to Oceanic Accompaniment to put all 3 onto that Seaking, and then I quickly realized that maybe that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. I could have saved 1 to put onto the Finneon here, but we're going to bench the other Finneon, and we still have access to Spirit Energy Retrieval. So we are going to pitch the Spirit Energy Retrieval and the Artisan here to grab all 4 water energies back. We're going to use that Prime Catcher to pull up the Gardevoir EX here. Then we're going to be able to also put 4 more energies onto our Seaking. We just got to quite figure out exactly what that math is, and we are going to need all 8 of those water energies here, because that Adrenabrain did take 3 damage counters off. However, it left me just enough, being 10 damage counters, to get to that great 300 number that I needed. But I did a Industrious Incisors into a water energy, so had it not had that 10 damage counters on it, I would have just been able to put another water energy to the Seaking for the KO. So we're gonna take 2 more prize cards, putting us at a 2-5 split here against Gardevoir, really showcasing that Seaking is not only hard-hitting, but even with a deck that takes a little bit longer to set up, like this Swim Freely deck, you're able to take down the best deck in format even, potentially. So we're going to refinement here, pitching a couple cards to be able to pitch a card to draw 2, Ultra Ball pitching a Dark Energy and that Manaphy here to find themselves into another Gardevoir EX here. Going to be able to evolve that Kirlia into Gardevoir this turn, but they're also going to be able to take a KO, unfortunately, on our Seaking from that Drifloon, and they are going to use that Artisan to grab that Scream Tail here, but they're going to actually save the Gardevoir in their hand and hope that I don't have the answer to KO that Kirlia. So we do have boss in hand, but that might not be what the play is here. So we're going to bench the Goldeen. We are going to play the Irida. And the reason I play Irida here is because I'm trying to set up for future turns and just seeing how much energy and stuff I have left and things of that nature. So we are going to grab the Seaking here so we can get another attacker ready to go. Because if not, I would have had to actually KO with Hisuian Basculegion on that Kirlia, and I didn't know if that would have been the right play. So we are going to use the Spirit Energy Retrieval here, and we're actually going to pitch... we're going to pitch a water energy, pitch both those water energies to grab 4 back. And the reason we can do that is because we had so many in the discard pile that it didn't really matter which ones I actually pitched. So we're going to be able to put 3 energies to the Seaking here, and then put 1 onto the Goldeen. And I'm going to be able to also Industrious Incisors for 1. And I did that because I was hoping to be able to find it in a card that I didn't really care to pitch with that Superior Energy Retrieval here. But I am just going to pass, and the reason I pass here is because I actually made a little bit of a misplay and attached the energy for turn to the Goldeen, and I needed to attach it to the Finneon to retreat into the Seaking to take the KO. However, we're still in a pretty good position. We are going to have access to that boss's order still. We're going to have 2 Iono, Super Rod, and Spirit Energy Retrieval in hand. We still have access to Artisan as well. So if they do end up KOing both of our Finneons, we can just Super Rod them back into the deck. Use the Artisan to bench one of them to still be able to put some energies on to our Pokemon here. So they are going to Adrenabrain, moving 3 damage counters off of their Pokemon to the Finneon to take a KO, putting us at a 3-2 split here. Now, I am going to put up the Goldeen, and the reason I put up the Goldeen here is because I don't mind losing the Goldeen, and if they can't take the KO on the Goldeen, I can just retreat or even try to find myself into another Seaking. But if they take the KO on the Goldeen, it was kind of the only thing that I didn't want them to KO, but they are going to be able to counter catcher up the Finneon here. But like I said, we still have that Super Rod in our hands, so we can still Super Rod and then Artisan to put the Finneon back into play. As long as our opponent doesn't really have any sort of Ionos or anything like that, or have like unfair stand, but they do have the Iono here, so we are going to only get into 2 cards, but we do end up getting Iono'd into our second copy of Super Rod, so we do get a little bit of luck there, but we also still have access to our Industrious Incisors as well, so maybe we would have been able to draw into that. So we are going to put up our Seaking here. I'm sorry, we are going to put up the Hisuian Basculegion. The reason I put up Hisuian Basculegion is because I don't mind trying to go for the big KO on Gardevoir EX or setting up for it, but I really just wanted to make sure that I could try to save my Seaking if need be. So we're going to Industrious Incisors here, getting 4 cards into our hand, going to find into another Seaking, Ultra Ball, Pitch, Bibarel, and an Iono to be able to grab that Radiant Greninja, play the Iono to put the Radiant Greninja to the bottom, to draw 2 and put 2 cards to our opponent as well. And then we're going to Upstream Spirits for 120 here to take a KO on that Drifloon, putting us at a 1-2 split. Now, I still have Boss's Orders in hand, so if they end up trying to attack with that Gardevoir and putting some damage counters on it, we still have Superior Energy Retrieval, and we still have Letter of Encouragement. But if they KO the Finneon here, then we also have Boss. We can just boss up the Ralts, and we have game. So we'll have to see what's going to happen here. Our opponent is going to Psychic Embrace 2 energies, 3 energies to that Gardevoir here. They're going to be able to take a KO on that Finneon with that Miracle Force. But they're going to bench the Drifloon here, and they are going to Adrena Brain to move 3 damage counters off of that Gardevoir to our Seaking Miracle Force for 190 to the Finneon here. We're going to be able to promote our Seaking, and then we are going to have that Boss for game. Pull up the Ralts here, and then we are going to Aqua Horn for 150 damage here to pick up that W against Gardevoir EX. What a crazy close game that ended up being, and being able to take down the best deck in format with this incredibly fast and reliable budget deck Swim Freely. So now let's jump right in to that outro. Alrighty, let's go to it for today's video. And if you guys haven't yet, don't forget to leave a like, smash the subscribe button. I would appreciate it. And I'll make sure to put the deck list in today's video in the description below. So you guys want to try it out for yourself, you'll be able to. And once again, huge shout out to Taylor for actually providing the deck list for today's video. Thank you so much again. Alrighty, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!